everyone. So we are now
Hello.
live with
Hi.
different members of the Sustainable Society. So this is our second event of Global Climate Change Week, which we're celebrating this week from the 19th to the 25th of October. And so the goal of Global Climate Change Week is to bring communities of students, academics, and just different people within the university together to be able to take action on climate change and educate each other and talk about all these different topics. So today we're going to be chatting about our experience of the 21-day, 21-item minimalism challenge that was organized by the Edinburgh Napier Sustainable Society. And we're just going to talk about our experience and about what it's about and all that. So without further ado, I'm just going to introduce everyone. So if you can just say hi and let us know a little bit about who you are and all that.
Okay, I can go first. Hi, everyone. I'm Yuki, and I'm the treasurer of the Sustainable Society. And I've been a member last year as well, and now I'm in the committee. And I'm really excited about this challenge, and it's going well so far.
Okay, I can go next. Hi guys, I'm Indra and I'm the Wellbeing Officer of the Sustainable Society. I've been in the society from the beginning of it, and then I sort of went off for a year abroad, and then I'm back again as a part of the committee. I think the whole topic of minimalism and the whole challenge is very exciting, but it's also very challenging. So I think we'll talk about it in more details.
So, hi, my name is Petra. I'm the Secretary of Sustainable Society. I've been in society for 2 years. Now I'm part of the committee, and I am kind of the creator of 21 and 21 for this month. So I'm excited that this challenge is running up.
Nice, amazing. Oh, and I realized I didn't introduce myself either. So I'm Heloisa, and I'm the Vice President for Reps and Volunteers at ENSA. And one of my manifesto points and my commitments is to improve sustainability at Edinburgh Napier and just generally make university life a bit more sustainable and environmentally friendly. So I just really like working with the Sustainable Society and try and work together and do some stuff. So so does anyone want to actually explain what the challenge is about so that everyone who's watching can have an idea?
Petra, do you want to do that? Because you created it.
The creator.
So, over the summer, I got really into minimalism because whole COVID and everything. And I was listening to podcasts, and they had this interview with Courtney Carter, which she's creator of Project 333, which is basically she's trying to make her life easier and more sustainable and minimalist. And she said the easiest way to do it and start is the wardrobe. And so I got this idea to create a challenge 21 in 21, which basically means that for 21 days, you pick 21 items, which include clothing, accessories, outdoor wear, and shoes. And you, for 21 days, wear only these items. So it's supposed to make your life easier. What I was hoping for the challenge is to show that actually less can be more, that we don't necessarily need as many things as we buy or we use. Some of it we don't even use in our wardrobes and everything. And maybe also that the morning choices of your clothes wear can be easier with less items, less choice. Or even there can be more creativity within what you put together, how you piece your clothes, what kind of accessories you use.
Nice, amazing, thanks. And just to tell everyone, so this challenge has been going on we've been doing it for 2 weeks now, and we've got 1 week left, more or less.
It started on 8th of October, and it's going to be finishing on 28th.
Yeah, perfect. So I don't know about you, but my thought process when I started the challenge was okay, I'm just going to make a list of the 21 things. And so I just started thinking, okay, what do I need? I'm going to do, shoes, shirts, this, that, etc. And so I had it all written down, and I was so prepared, and I have my list here. It looks extremely messy now. It's ridiculous. But I was so happy, and I thought, oh, this is going to be quite easy. And then, so I'm working from home right now, so I'm not really leaving the flat too much. So I'd made this whole list when I was inside, and then I thought, oh, okay, let me go out for a walk. And then I picked up my handbag and I thought, oh no, I forgot to include my handbag in the list and my backpack, which I usually use as well. So I was like, oh, that's 2 items that I'm going to have to take off this list. And I was just thinking, no, I can't, because I'd spent so long thinking about what I was going to put on it. So I don't know how it worked for all of you, if you had the same thought process or any issues like that. But
I've actually not thought about that. I think now, like, if backpack and like a canvas bag is included, I might be over 21, because I haven't actually thought about that. Because I thought, like, my backpack, for example, I've been still going to the library some days, so it's more like my like uni item that I need for uni, and like taking my books, and not like as a piece of my outfit or something like that.
That's I guess that's complicated, because you think, so what counts in the items and what doesn't as well.
Yeah.
This is what I was
And I like
hoping
started
for.
off by kind of like, I had a rough idea what items I will end up using, but I didn't make like a strict list. And then I kind of just made a tick on the paper, like once I used a new item and so on. And I've used quite well all the same items, but then in the start it was a bit warmer, so I used my lighter jacket, and then actually this week it's been a lot colder and it's been rainy, so I didn't think to include my rain jacket or my like thicker jacket, so that's like almost been it's been a bit challenging as well. But I've just worn like a thicker jumper than underneath, or.
Yeah, I think I had a little bit of advantage because I'm a little bit warmer, so I don't need as many clothes, or I don't need to think as much when I leave the place. But now, actually, today started raining very much and it got colder. And today I was like, okay, so what I'm gonna put on? Before we all met here, and I was like, okay, so I have this or that, so I need to choose between the things, So it was a little bit challenging, and I was also counting the other day because you guys made a list and I did it more sort of like freely, because I never thought I used more than 21 clothes. I was in general thinking about clothing. And then yesterday I was going to my closet and starting to count things that I've already used. And I realized that I was like on the top. And then I realized that I used a bit more because we're also thinking about shoes. So I think I'm a bit over it. But at the same time, at the beginning, after we did our event on minimalism and after the challenge presentation, I actually decided to take a different approach. So I took it more on the digital minimalism or more on the social media. So I decided that every day I can spend only 21 minutes on the social media, which looks kind of funny because still maybe 21 minutes for something is a lot. But for me, it's really not much time, when you think about it, because then you start reading things, you start, like following videos and, where it goes. So it was a challenge, but so far it goes quite well. So I'm proud of myself.
Nice, well done.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. I know people can spend hours and hours on social media every day.
But what I did, I actually downloaded, the thing on the app that follows what you visit. So like how much time you spend on Facebook, how much time you spend on Google Chrome and all that stuff. So I can literally see minutes that I've spent. So it's easier for me to follow up on that.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I was hoping for, that by creating these challenges, it's like people are going to take it and transform it and like incorporate it within their life. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just about clothes, that we can apply to anything. And that minimalism seems scary, and then you try it and it may be challenging, but in other areas it helps you so much. For example, for me, the clothes, first 3 days I started to do the whole thing like, oh, I like this shoes, but I didn't pick them in a challenge, and I was like do I risk it or not? Then I was like, okay, no, I'm going to stick to what I have. And after like 3 days, I pretty much stopped caring, to the point where I just like, I have to dress so I'm not cold, or like I look okay, but it's not like anything. It doesn't take like that much time off of my day again, because I used to be the person who like, I love accessories, I love earrings, every day different type, and like bracelets. Can't wear those anymore.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think, well, for me, it's been, well, with the earrings, actually, it's quite the same for me.
Right?
Like I have all these different ones, and every day I'm like, oh, I need to pick a different one today, because yesterday people saw me with these earrings and blah, blah, blah. And then also because I'm working from home, like all that people see of me is this. So it's like my top and my earrings. So I need to change my earrings so it looks like I'm wearing something different. But now, obviously, for the challenge, I was only able to pick one pair, and it's absolutely fine because it's just earrings. It doesn't change anything. But obviously, I wasn't going to think, well, oh, let me choose 4 pairs of earrings, but then I don't have any shoes to walk with.
This is exactly like, it also like showed me this challenge, that like how much I actually care about like what people think, and how much I care about what I think of myself. So it's incredible, like so much time giving like, oh, do I look okay? This doesn't really go with what I'm wearing, and like people may not accept that because like it's a different style. So it's just crazy.
Yeah. And I think as well, oh, sorry, go for it.
I just wanted to add that I think people have their own problems and their own stuff to think about, that, you know, in the end, they don't really care.
Yeah, and I'm sure they don't notice either, because sometimes I think, you know, oh, if I've seen someone and then I'm going to see them again the next day, I'm like, oh, I need to change my clothes, because then they'll think that I'm always wearing the same stuff. But I don't think that people will notice that, like, that day I was wearing this kind of jeans, and then this day I'm wearing jeans that are a bit darker. I don't think it's something that people are going to think.
Yeah, because they are probably like then focusing on what they are wearing.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same, you know, when people have conversations, and I heard that people just listen to 30% of usually what you're saying. So imagine, you know, like people don't really focus on the things as you think they do. So it's always coming back to like how conscious you are about yourself, and like how do you really think that, oh, what do people think about me in the end?
That's a bit of a strange thought now, to know that people are only listening to like a quarter of the things I'm actually saying.
But imagine reports, you know, you have reports, and that's why university always is telling you, you know, make as little as possible. I'm not talking about dissertations, but, you know, in report, you have to fit so much in 1,000 words or 500 words. So that's the same. When you speak, you need to make it into that 30%.
Amazing. Yeah, what I was thinking as well with the challenge is that, like what you were saying, Petra, that, you know, it can seem quite challenging at the beginning, but, you know, now we're thinking, oh, we're living with only 21 items. But I think that can sort of help us realize that, you know, instead of living with 100 items, we can live with 50, not necessarily 21, but it still helps you to realize that you can reduce what you're doing. And I think that's really good.
I think as a student who like travels a lot, so like I have part of my clothes at home, part of my clothes here, and like at other places, I never really realized how many clothes I do possess and I've never wear, because I just keep promising myself like, oh, when I'm going to be home for summer, I can wear it. But then I go home and I literally use not even half of it. And I just keep it because I'm like, well, if I go home next year, maybe I will wear it. And there's like so much clothes, which like I don't need. And I believe that other people could have more enjoyment out of them. But I never realized to like what scale it like touches me. It was, I wish
I'm kind of
I
the
could
same.
be more like, you know, like I wish I could downscale.
Spread over like everywhere, and then I'm like, oh, there's such a nice top, or like there's such a nice jumper, like I'll definitely wear it. But then actually I haven't worn it in a year or so I probably won't wear it again. So I think that will be like a good rule if you're like getting rid of your clothes that you're not using anymore, because you most likely like you're gonna be like, oh, this is such a nice one, and like, oh, I used to wear it so much. But if you've not worn it in like longer than 6 months or so, maybe it's time to like give it forward.
Yeah, I think we can get very sort of sentimentally attached to clothes for no reason. But what I've started doing with things that I'm thinking, well, they're nice. I don't want to give them away. But so what I'll do is I'll give them to like a younger cousin or something that I know will still appreciate it. And then this is quite a funny one. Is like my mum is really into fashion and she has like a lot of clothes. So what I've stopped doing when I go back home, because I'm only back for the summer, is that I just wear it because my mum and I are the same size and she's got quite a good fashion sense, so which is great because I can just use her clothes. And I've just realized, well, I can stop buying new stuff because when I'm back home and I'm only there for a few weeks, my mum's got loads of things that she's not even wearing. So I just started wearing her stuff and that's quite good.
I also started to, like, I tried to do it. I completely, utterly failed over the summer. But what I try to do is I love secondhand shopping. I don't really go shopping anywhere else. So I love secondhand shopping. But like I realized like I buy so many things because it's so good and it's like cheaper and it's like unique pieces. So what I started to do, me and my sister, we go to secondhand, we buy like free items. And for the free items we buy, we try to give free items back to the charity shops. It's a good concept and we try to do it, and I hope we're going to continue doing it, but it's never going to be enough because it's just so many things I like. And then your mom gives you clothes because like she doesn't wear them and she wants you to have beautiful new stuff because we all deserve it and we want to all look pretty and up to the speed with the fashion. Oh,
that sounds exactly like my mom.
2 wardrobes, it's not enough. Your mom starts to use yours because you don't really live at home, but she has so many clothes she has nowhere to put.
That's
and
hilarious.
Then she can't find the one piece which works with the one skirt, and then she just goes over.
Amazing. Yeah. It's exactly the same for me. So like when I go back to my room back home, first of all, my dad's now working from home. He's taken over my desk, so all of his stuff is all over my desk. But it looks ridiculous because he's got this sort of like very grown-up, serious setup, and then like there's all my like teddy bears around because this is my childhood room. And then my wardrobe is actually quite small, but more than half of it is filled with my mum's clothes, even though she already has a couple of wardrobes in her room. So I'll go back home and I don't even have like one space to put a jacket because it's all full of her stuff. So I was just like, you know what, I'll just start using her stuff. It's in my wardrobe, so now it's mine.
I suggested to my mom to start doing this, like not particularly what we are doing now with the 21 in 21, but in a sense, like pick at like few outfits for like a month and like wear those, and then next month try to change this and the clothes and like the jackets and everything, and wear another like favorite pieces of hers to like change it up, but try to like use and utilize all the things she has and not just leave it in a wardrobe for 15-20 years and wait till like I find it somewhere there.
Yeah. That's true, and I feel like at least what's good is that sort of fashion always comes back. So like my mom was gonna have like clothes like back from the 90s, but then they'll like come back into fashion. So I'm like, oh, I'll wear that. This is really cool. It's really trendy, you know. Yeah.
I still have a dress from my aunt when she was actually in her graduation, which was I think 30 years ago, and I love this dress. It's like a silk red dress, but it doesn't really like quite fit well into some areas, so I need to, you know, fix them. But I saw it and I was like, I want this dress. So I think I have it with me for like 5 years now. So I'm still, you know, trying to find a time to fix it. But you know, those from the clothes from the past, or like 90s, 80s, or whatever, they're so original and they're so interesting. And you know, it's something that it's, I don't know, always make me happy. You know, you see this whole big jacket with like jeans and, you know, like glitter stuff, and it's like you wouldn't wear this every day, but it's I'm not even a clothes person, but sometimes when you see these things, you're like, damn, that's so nice.
And you know you won't be able to get anything exactly like it ever again, so it's just so unique.
And they're like actually really good quality as well. Like think how many decades they've already survived, and they're still like, you can still wear them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not to say that like all the clothes from the 80s are good quality, but the ones that got to 2020, they have to be, if they made it through this journey. Yeah.
Well, I think the idea of making things to last was the idea of the previous years.
Yeah.
It's also like the way you take care of your stuff. Like the clothes could be surviving way more than we give them credit for, even now in the time of fast fashion and everything. If you buy t-shirt for H&M, which is not really sustainable, but let's be honest, we do all buy it because we are students and we don't have money. And you buy the t-shirt, and if you take care of it, the t-shirt's gonna last more than when you just toss it away. And like, we can make the clothes like, how do you say it? Last longer. And I think that's also why the creator of the project 333 was like trying to pinpoint like how fast fashion is also affecting us, not just the amount that we buy, but like their clothes which last us way longer, and we just toss them at like first sign of damage. We don't really try to repair clothes. It's not worth it as it used to be. So like my mom had this jean jacket which survived the last 50 years almost. Also her mom was wearing the jean jacket, and like they repaired it so many times, but it looks still good and it looks almost like new because they take care of its stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And like, again, like the clothes, they can go through so many stages as well. So you can have something, a top that you're like, you've just bought it and you're like, wear it to parties and stuff. And then like, oh, it looks a bit less bright. So you just wear it on like a normal day. And then, okay, it's got some holes in it. You wear it as a pajama. And then, okay, it's completely destroyed. You can use it to clean surfaces. But there's always something that you can keep doing with it. So I don't know, at least what's good is in my family, it's always been quite like that. So we've got, in the garage, we've got a pile of like my dad's old shirts that like my mum uses to clean stuff, and there's just like lots of them. But we have them until they're completely destroyed, and there's just nothing you
my
can do
mom's
with
the
them
same.
anymore.
She makes like new pillowcases out of new like old t-shirts and stuff.
That's so
picnic
nice.
blankets and
yeah, or like you had a dress. Like my mom, she used to sew a lot.
So
She has sewing machine, and she used to make her own dresses, make dresses for friends. So sometimes when I have a problem, a clothing, and I'm like, what should I do with this? Because it doesn't it's not doing its first purpose, but it can do something else. So I go to to her and ask her what to do. So she helped me to actually make shirts from dresses, because there's always problem when you wash the dresses and sometimes you pick the wrong setting and your dress becomes from this in length, so it's not really appropriate to wear it anymore. So I usually just ask her to make it properly as a shirt, so it looks nice. Because I mean, you can do it by hand, but by machine it's 2 minutes. So just seeing new life and things is very important.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And talking about sort of like unique pieces of clothing and all that, what would you say, like, did you choose any like pieces for your minimalism challenge where you were like, oh, this is like one of my favorite things and that's why I want to pick it? Like, was there anything sort of special that you chose, or not really?
I would say yes. I definitely went through my wardrobe and I picked it. I knew exactly as I thought of the challenge. I had one piece of clothing which I knew has to be included. And that's a skirt which my sister gave me last summer, because she's an art student, so she changes her taste in fashion every 2 weeks. So she gave me this skirt, and it's like amazing skirt which she bought somewhere in like secondhand shop, and I knew that my whole challenge will be built around this. It's the best piece of clothing I've worn in a long time.
That's amazing. I think for me, well, it's odd because usually, like, for these kind of challenges, you need to try and find some pieces of clothing that are quite sort of neutral in colors, because otherwise they don't really go with too much stuff. But I've got this shirt that I bought from like a vintage event like 4 years ago when I just arrived in Edinburgh. And I remember when I saw it, I thought, this is the best shirt I've ever seen. But it was quite expensive for something secondhand. It was £15, and I thought, is this worth it? And it was the best investment of my whole life, because then I wore it all the time, to the point where, like, because it was my favorite shirt and it's got loads of colors. I'll show it to you in a second. I would wear it to like all the parties, but usually where you will have photos of you is when you're out. So any photo of me, I'm wearing that shirt. So it looks like that's the only thing I wear. And I'm not even joking. If you scroll through my Instagram from like 4 years ago to today, I'm wearing that shirt in almost all the time. And it's this one, but it's got loads of colors. But when you think about it, you can just wear it with jeans or anything. You can't see it too well, but it's like a sort of 80s shirt. Again, this probably survived. It survived for 40 years. Yeah.
I mean, it still has colors and everything.
I know.
Yeah, and it's great because like you can wear it casually, but then you can also wear it to parties as well. Like you can style it differently.
I found it hard to like incorporate any like color in my wardrobe. Like I have blue jean and pretty much white or black. So like I couldn't figure out anything with color. Like I found it like probably the hardest thing from like the choosing.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you usually wear colors or not really?
I try to, but it's always like one piece out of the whole outfit. So like the whole outfit is neutral and like with one piece like that small twist on it. But I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't match all the things. Like I don't know how other people did it, but for me it was so hard.
I think
most of mine is kind of neutral as well. But then there was this one like vintage shirt I wanted to include as well, but I only wore it the first day. It was the Thursday that the challenge started, and that was the last day the pubs were open. So I only wore it to the pub, and then I've not worn it afterwards because that is not really like something I wear normally every day. So looking forward to pubs to open again.
I know. I think just like that shirt that I was showing you as well. Like I had a couple of things that I was like, oh, this is for the weekends when I'll be going out.
Yeah.
And then I just realized that I'm wearing like, because I'll exercise, so I'm wearing leggings. I'm working from home and I keep the same leggings on, and then I'll go like out on the weekend hiking with my friends because the pubs are closed, and I'm like, well, I'm just wearing the same things over and over, but that's not what I would do in a normal situation, because I'm not going to the pub in my leggings. So
yeah, I think it makes it a bit easier at the moment that you can't really go anywhere, so you don't actually have to think about what you wear that much.
Yeah, I think, and again, the fact that it's winter makes it more difficult as well. I'm thinking because, in my items, I've had to count my scarf and my hat and all that. And I was thinking if this was summer, you would just be like shorts, t-shirt, shorts, skirt, shorts, so it'd make it a lot easier as well.
Yeah, you need a lot of layers.
I know. But yeah, no, I think trying to think what else is it that I'm wearing. I've got this jumper. I actually got it from the Shrub. So that was quite good. Like I got it for free because they're doing this thing. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called like Free Mondays, where you just show up and they've just got things for free and you just take whatever you want, which is quite good. So I would recommend. So I went, I think it's from 2 to 4 p.m. on Mondays. And I went a couple of weeks ago. But I think because it's quite popular, like I went and I had to queue for an hour. But when you think about it, like, an hour is not that much because I ended up getting like 5 pieces of clothing that were quite good. So yeah, would recommend.
Yeah, an hour is what you probably like would spend if you went shopping on Princess Street anyway. So
exactly, yeah. And I guess if you're going with some friends, you could just like have a chat in the queue and pretend you're going into a club, but it's actually just fun.
I made this promise to myself that I don't, the moment I arrive to Scotland, unless I need something necessary, like for example, I ruined my shoes and I need shoes, I don't buy anything to like try reduce the amount of things I buy. Because in the first year I used to go on this like, let's go shopping, and then I was like, that's not good. Like it costs you so much money, and like you wear it like twice and then you give it out. or like you leave it somewhere, and so many clothes.
Yeah, and I think as well for us, because we're not from Scotland, then if you move flats or something, or you're moving back
And you
home,
have to drag it with you,
and you're like, what am I going to do with all my stuff? And
yeah, that's only 23 kilograms you can take with you.
I think that's good, and that helps a lot as well. And I think that's something that I've noticed with my family too, is because my parents have been living in the same house for years, that you accumulate so much stuff. But because I'm changing flats every year, like I need to, like every time I change flats, I need to reduce and think about, okay, you can't buy anything new because you've just got so many suitcases and things of stuff everywhere, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, and I think usually it's a headache for family in regards of gifts, because they're like, oh, I would have given you this, or I would given you a book or whatever, but since you're traveling, and you're like, well, yeah. So it's you're very sort of based in this one. Usually I just travel with one backpack, and so I usually try to one backpack and one suitcase. So I really try to put only this in my suitcase and backpack. So I always try to get just those items, to not buy any other suitcase, not buy anything else, just to have those two things, and always just to fit things there. So sometimes you have to sit on the luggage, on the thing, and like try to close it, crying, whatever, but you make it. So yeah, it's a big challenge, but I think it teaches you so much, to think about what you buy, what you have. Do you need this? Do you need that? Because it's so easy to get all those little things that you don't even need, but just it looks nice. So definitely it's something that really helps to be more minimalistic.
I am so
definitely
guilty of that. Like the other day I was trying to I realized I came here in first year with just one single suitcase and one backpack. Right now I have at least 4 other boxes of clothes, because there is a winter clothes, there is new shoes, there's that kind of shoes, and so much clothes. That's majority of the stuff I own is clothes. I don't really own books or anything else. It's just clothes. My flatmates used to go crazy because I couldn't stuff anything anywhere, and I'm using half of his I think there's he has wardrobe, and half of it is mine even now, because I can't fit my stuff. So I just can I put it here? I know you have 10 pieces all together, so I know you have space. I'm just gonna shove it up there and pretend it's not there.
So basically you're doing what your mom does to you,
Yeah.
but to your family.
I'm trying not to, but it's just so hard to but this is what my parents bought me 2 years ago, and I don't want to give it up, although I don't really wear it, but I don't want to give it up.
I think it's funny when you say that as well, because it makes me think about how Christmas is coming up and all the present situation. And I think for anyone that's quite into sustainability, at least for me, it's a bit of a stressful time, because it's just so much overconsumption. And you obviously your family's trying to be really nice, and they're like, oh, and I got you this present and this present, and I'm just trying to say, please don't buy me stuff that I'm not going to use. So I'm just trying to say oh, I don't want anything specific I don't want anything for Christmas, or I don't know, let's just go out to a restaurant instead. But I think it's difficult for people to sort of understand, be no, but I have to give you something for Christmas. I can't just not get you a physical present. So I always end up with things that random things that people got me just so there's something under the tree. I don't know if it's the same for you, but yeah.
I think the best, from what I usually do as well, because it's sometimes when you're not around during the Christmas time, because it happens, the best is giving something that is, as you say, experience.
Yeah.
So whether I don't know, skydiving, just an example, but
extreme.
Yeah, but I remember I gave to my mother horse riding or lessons, or things like that. So it's something that you will have so much joy of, and it's nothing that it's not a thing, but it's something that you will remember. So that's what my family gives to me, or I give to them. So it's a very good way to show it's still I care about you, but it's more fun way, I think.
In my family, we have this thing, we promise now that we're not going to be buying stuff for each other, because my sister is not living at home, so she travels a lot, I travel a lot, so we don't really get to use the stuff. But there's only one thing which I really, really want to get from everyone, and that's new pair of socks. That's the only thing I require for Christmas. If I get a nice warm pair of socks, I'm happier than anything else, guys.
That's like, that means we're getting old, because I was gonna say like the same thing for me. But it is, yeah. I think just because we're in Scotland as well, like I have so many of like, you know, those like little socks that are absolutely useless because you freeze to death in them. And I need some good socks as well. So I'm gonna ask for that as well. Thanks for the inspiration. Amazing. Right. So I think we could maybe conclude it on that little Christmas point. And yeah, what else am I gonna? Have you got any society events coming up? Do you want to talk about, or just like promote a little bit, tell the students how they can sign up and all that if they're interested?
Yeah, we actually have like our own like official society meeting next week, Thursday on the 29th, which is like a social, and that's like the day after the challenge is finished. So we'll just share our experiences, and if anyone has any good tips and just anything about the challenge, and catch up on that. And you can find us on Facebook, Edinburgh Napier Sustainable Society, and also on Instagram. I think it's edinapier.sustainable society. And if you have any questions or anything, you can just drop us a message on Instagram or Facebook, or email as well, and we'll answer to that.
Fantastic. Yeah, and if you want to sign up to the society, you can just go on the Insta website as well, and that's your memberships. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, you can register your interest if you're not sure if you want to become a member yet, or you can get your membership as well.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. It's been a really good conversation, and I'm just cutting it short because I'm conscious of the time, but I could like stay here and speak for ages about like going on tangents about random stuff. So but yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for hosting it.
Amazing.
Maybe you can also join the event next week, so we can talk more about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I'm available. I've written it down in my diary, so I'll definitely be there, so we can chat a bit more about how it's going. Maybe like there'll be some new stuff happening in the week coming up to it, a tragedy with clothes or something.
There'll be a snowstorm or something, and we'll all be in crisis.
Oh, right. Well, thank you so much then. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.